Hey again guys, and welcome to another YouTube lesson. Okay, so today we're taking a look at operational strategies, and we're looking at our very last strategy, which is global factors. And inside global factors, that's the syllabus dot point, we've got global sourcing, economies of scale, scanning and learning, and R&D, research and development. As always, it's very important to know what the definition is for each of these things, but also understand what or how they can be used as an effective strategy. The other point to note here is that often kids get a little bit with global stuff. Oh, it's too hard, I won't worry about it. When you think like that, that's the moment this becomes your HSC question. All right, so make sure the hardest part of the syllabus you know as well as what you find to be the easiest parts of the syllabus, because you don't always get a choice in essay questions, short answers, whatever they may well be. Could be a 6-mark short answer question on this and you're like, crap, really should have just put some more effort into that one and just thought, don't worry about it. Same if this is your essay question, you don't get a choice, well, there's your HSC. So please make sure you yourself get each of these dot points, and if you don't understand how they can be effective strategies, then come and see me, ask me on Slack. All right, enough of the lecture. You don't get many of those off me. Sometimes. Operation strategies. I'm not going to go through that. We know what they are, all right? But remember, definition, how it's an effective strategy. Using that performance objective criteria, please. Global factors. Now, global factors can influence a business's operations as soon as opportunities to source inputs from cheaper sources overseas. Also, you can expand and achieve economies of scale for these global factors, and you can develop new products for international markets. So all of these things are global factors that can be used effectively as a strategy. The first one of these is global sourcing. Now you already know what sourcing is. It is getting your inputs to be able to produce your outputs through the transformation process. Throw the term global in there, doesn't make it scary. In fact, most sourcing these days is done on a global scale. It just means you are sourcing your inputs through a global web. Spread all out when you're looking at a map from Sydney all around the world, you're getting this part from there, that part from there, and so on and so on. A benefit of globalization is the opportunity, so a good thing for a business to acquire inputs from other countries or a low-cost region. We call these low-cost regions. It doesn't have to just be a country on its own. Southeast Asia is an example of a low-cost region. We call them, not surprisingly, LCRs. They do this in order to reduce overall cost. They make use of this concept I mentioned earlier called a global web. Now, a global web strategy involves a business sourcing inputs from the cheapest regions, manufacturing where it's cheapest to do so, obtaining finance from countries with the lowest interest rates, and also distributing products to any nation that demands them. All right. So global sourcing, you know what it is. It's getting your supplies, your inputs globally from all different parts of the world where it's cheapest, best quality, where you want it. That should be obvious as to how it's a strategy. If you just source domestically, you're missing out on those bargains. That means you'll be unable to gain a competitive advantage as a strategy, and also you won't be meeting that cost performance objective, and so on. The next global factor is economies of scale. This refers to the average cost of making or supplying each unit. It'll fall as prices as the product or the business gets bigger and bigger. So as you are making more products, as your business is getting bigger and bigger, then the cost per unit to produce the same item falls. How? One main reason is this buying in bulk. You even know if you go to the supermarket and you buy a 5 kilo bag of whatever, compared to 5 1 kilo bags, overall generally the 5 kilo bag is cheaper than purchasing 5 individual 1 kilo bags of whatever the hell you're purchasing. Just one example of economies of scale. You can share the same equipment, share the same factories and so on also. Now, how's that global, you might ask, good kids? It doesn't have to be, but generally, to gain real decent economies of scale, we just have too small a market in Australia, generally. So TNCs, transnational corporations, they achieve economies of scale, usually by operating on a global level and having huge markets all around the world. Now, some reasons why a business achieve economies of scale include the ability to buy in bulk, as I said, and the ability of a business to move its entire manufacturing division to cheaper countries like Mexico, Southeast Asia, and so on. Small, locally based businesses don't have this luxury as much. Now, unfortunately, at times, if a business gets too large, they may experience this concept, this notion called diseconomies of scale. This is that they get so large that it's difficult to gain any additional benefit from extra increases in sales. But you've got to get pretty big for this diseconomies of scale to occur. So generally, economies of scale, it's under a global factor, means you can buy in bulk, it's easy to outsource, and so on, and it means that the cost per unit of producing an item becomes cheaper. And it's a very effective strategy, giving your business a competitive advantage. Now, the next global factor is scanning and learning. A business can employ a scanning and learning strategy if they wish to improve their operational processes. This involves keeping an eye, that's my eyebrow, but an eye, and an ear out, and looking around the globe to see what other businesses are doing. Our school can see what other schools are doing in Australia, but overseas as well, and then try to adopt similar strategies. An operations manager needs to scan and attempt to learn from their competitors to see what they're doing, and also from their customers. Now, if we take a look at Coles, it's not surprisingly, Woolworths does something and Coles goes, oh, I'll do that. And, Woolworths will do something, Coles will do something, Woolworths will go, oh, yeah, I've scanned and learned from that. It is kind of copying what they've done, but they just do a little tweak on it there. And they'll be looking at what Walmart and other businesses do overseas with scanning and learning. Okay, the last one we've got here is research and development, R&D. Now, research and development is an innovation strategy associated with the creation of new products and the improvement of existing ones. Again, to have R&D, it could be a domestic-based thing. It doesn't have to be a global factor. But reality is, unless you are a massive business, it's hard to be able to devote enough money needed to be able to produce something new, to devote huge amounts of capital to research and developing prototypes and putting that into the marketplace. So global, large, transnational corporated businesses are the ones that tend to do that. All right, guys, from this lesson, again, make sure you understand what each of these things mean and also think, okay, how can that one be used as a strategy? You have to be able to explain how that can occur. And if you can do that, you should be fine in terms of your essay writing. See you later, guys. See you next time.